Hello everyone and welcome you all to another chapter of the t-shirt design in Photoshop tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 5 and here I'll be showing you how you can design a rock band t-shirt design in Photoshop. Okay, so I'll be showing you how you can actually use different elements and you guys can download those. Then after that I will also be showing you from where you guys can get inspired. Okay, so you guys can look around, and also I'll be teaching you how you can actually adjust those layers, how you can use the guides, okay, the rulers, how you can actually rasterize your layers, all of this here in this particular class. So let's not waste time and let's get started with our chapter number 5 of rock band t-shirt design in Photoshop. So here, as you guys can see, I'm here in the home page of the Photoshop. So from here, what I'm going to do is I will come here in the new file, and from here, I will just name this one as rock band t-shirt design. Okay, so I'll just not name this one as rock band t-shirt design. And from here, I will just take width of 10 and a height of 12. Resolution is 300. CMYK color mode. Background is black. And now I will just create a file over here. So here, as you guys can see, I have this thing. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to import a image. Okay, so I'm going to import an image over here to this particular page. So for that, what I can do is I can just come here, and from here I will just go to my downloads, and as you guys can see, I do have this image. What I can do is I can just decrease the size, and I can just drag and drop this image somewhere over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is perfectly here, and what you need to do is you need to come here in the layers, right click, and you guys can just rasterize this layer. So once you have done rasterizing this layer, now you can basically remove the background. Okay, so from the quick actions, you guys can here, and you guys can click on the remove background option. So here, as you guys can see, now this thing's background is being removed. Okay, so I'll just keep this somewhere over here. Okay, so here, if I want to transform this particular layer now, like if I want to change the size or anything as such, so for that, what I need to do is right here, I need to click on Control T, okay, to transform. And what I can do is if I just want to give this thing a rotation, okay, so I can just give this thing a rotation quite like this. And if I want to decrease the size proportionally, I can just decrease the size of this thing proportionally. So I do have this one right now, and what I can do is I can just click here on commit transform, and I'll just enter, and you guys can see now I do have my fish over here. And as I did have a black background, sometimes what happen is if you do have a different background for your image, in that case it won't be able to remove the background completely. Okay, so in that case, what you can do is you can always come up here. Okay, so you guys can actually make sure that you select this layer. Okay, so it should be the layer mask, and after that, using the brush tool over here, you guys can actually select a solid brush. Okay, so for that I will just come here. Okay, so here you guys can actually put your brush around, and you can actually decrease the feather from here. Okay, so I'll just show you guys an example. Okay, so if I do have this thing, and if I want to delete this part, here you guys can see this is how I can actually work out. Okay, so this is the way of how you can actually work out. So it depends whether you have a black background or a white background or whatever it is. Okay, so according to that, if you do have a background, make sure that you select this black color over here. If you have a white background, make sure that you use the white color over here as well. Okay, so now here I will just zoom this thing out because I'm going to put other things here as well. Okay, so I'm going to put other objects over here. So for that, what I need to do is I need to come somewhere here. Okay, I'll just select this one, select outside and come here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have this layer and I do have a mask. What I want to do is I just want to copy this thing over here. Okay, so it's just opening in Illustrator, which I don't want. What I want to do is I can just click over here, and now I just want to open this thing with my Photoshop. Okay, so I'll just open this thing with my Photoshop, and here you guys can see. So this is in a EPS format. Okay, so I'll just click on OK. So here now it is just rasterizing my file before opening. So I can do that, and after that I will just put that particular thing on top of my design. Okay, or if I just want to put behind the fish, I can do that, and after that I'll also show you how you can actually export other parts here as well. So let it just rasterize. So here you guys can see I do have this one over here. So now what you can do is again come here, right click, and what you can do is you can just remove the background. So I'll just try to remove the background of this thing. So it might take some time. And once I have removed the background, what I can do is I can click on Control C from here. Okay, so I'll just click on Control C and I'll come here and I'll just click on Control V. Okay, so here I do have a different layer. So I will come back somewhere here again. Okay, make sure that I do have this layer. And right now, what I'll do is I will select this one. Okay. And now I will just click on this thing. Okay. So if I just want to transform this, if I just want to decrease this thing down. Okay. So I'll select this. And once I have selected this whole thing right around here, you guys can see this is also transforming. Okay, so I have just transformed this thing over here as well. Okay, select this one, Control C. Okay, so I have selected Control C. Come here and just click on Control V. Okay, so here I do have this thing. And what I can do is I can just go out. And if I want to decrease the size proportionally, in that case, I just need to click on Shift. And now I can just bring this layer right back in. Okay, so here I will just bring this layer quite like this. And what I can do is I can just put this one just behind this fish. Okay, so for that I just need to come here, and what I can do is I can just bring this thing quite somewhere over here. Okay, so I just want to keep this thing somewhere over here. And now same thing, what you can do is if you want to duplicate this layer, you guys can come here and you guys can just duplicate this layer. So here you guys can see I have duplicated this layer, and now if I want to put this thing somewhat over here, you guys can see I can just put this thing somewhere over here as well. So here I do have this thing. Now I want to put another objects as well. Okay, so I want to put some objects here as well. So for that, I will again come here, go to the downloads, and from the downloads, as you guys can see, I do have a floral card here as well. So I'll just open in the floral card over here, and what I'll do is I will click on this, right click, and I just want to open this one with Photoshop. Okay, so I'll be showing you from where you guys can get access to all those things here as well. So here, as you guys can see, I do have this particular layer. And now again, I will just come here to this particular layer. And now I will just remove the background. So it might take some time to remove the background over here. And what you can do is once I do have this particular layer selected, Control C, come here, and you guys can just click on Control V. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I have selected Control V. And what I will do is I will come here, and now I can just go back and I can just decrease the size of this thing here as well. Okay, so I'll just decrease the size. If I want to keep this thing somewhat over here, I will just keep this thing somewhere over here. And this layer, what I'll do is right click again. Okay, and I'll just duplicate this layer. So I'll just make this one a copy. Okay, and I will just try to keep this somewhat over here. Okay, so now I do have these things right around here. So this is how it's going to look. And if I just want to decrease the size proportionally, I can just decrease the size of these things proportionally. And again, I'll select this layer. And now if I want to decrease the size proportionally, I can decrease the size proportionally. And here again, I will come to all this thing. If I want to decrease the size of all those, I will be able to decrease the size of all those things here as well. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I do have this, and now I will just decrease the size quite a bit. And here as well, I will just select this layer again, and I will also decrease the size accordingly. So whatever looks good according to your image, you guys can actually use those things up. Okay, and make sure that you guys do have a proper layering over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have a proper layering, and now I will just click on OK. So here, if I just choose outside, so this is how my image, or this is how it actually looks right now, but I'm going to work a lot more over here. So let's see what we'll do right now. So here, as I was telling, that you guys can basically download a lot of free stuff. Okay, so here I will show you from where you can do that. So the first option is the free pick. Okay, so from here, you guys can actually download a lot of vectors, different kind of photos, a lot of videos, PSD, templates. Okay, so from here, basically, you guys can actually download. They do also have categories. Okay, so from here, you guys can actually download. And the other website, which I was talking about, is the vecteezy.com. Okay, so vecteezy.com is also a great website. Okay, so from where you guys can download. Okay, so I will come here and I will just write water. Okay, so if I just click on water, and if I click on enter, you guys can see I do have different vectors for this thing. And now if I just want to sort this thing up, okay, so if I just want to use only the free licensed one, I can use the free licensed one over here. Okay, so you guys can see I do have a lot of these effects, okay, which you can download from. So I hope you guys can now come here and download, and they also do have different plans. Okay, so you guys can just come here and just see the pricing. Okay, so yearly unlimited subscription, it's kind of around $4.5 per month. Okay, so if you just calculate on a yearly basis, it comes something around $54 for a month. So from here, you guys can see in Pro what all do you get. Okay, so you do have the full commercial rights, and you do have access to bundles, collection downloads, and there will be a faster downloads, and there will be no ads as well. Okay, so in the same way, they do have in free pick here as well. So if you're working with graphics or designing, you guys can actually invest in this one, and you will get a lot of benefits out of it. So here you guys can see 12 months, it's €9 each month. Okay, but free pick do have a lot of content. Okay, so from a personal experience, I can tell that you guys can basically use this one if you're working on a continuous basis, with the graphics, designing, and all of this stuff around here. Okay, so back again to my Photoshop over here. So as you guys can see, I do have all of these things over here. Now what I want to do is I just want to put on some effects around all of this. Okay, and now if you want to rename this stuff, you guys can also rename these things as well. Okay, if you don't want to get confused. Okay, so this from here, you guys can actually come here, and I will just name this one accordingly that I don't get confused. So I'll just double click over here, and I can just name all of this. Okay, so I will just name this one as flower one, and I'll come here and I'll just take flower 2, and I'll come here and I'll just write this one as fish. So here, as you guys can see, now I have named all of this, and there is lesser chance that I will get confused. And again, what I can do is I can just bring these rulers, okay, so from the sides just to get a view of this thing. So I'll just keep a ruler on this side. And again, what I can do is I can just get a ruler somewhere around here. Okay, so I will just try to work here in this middle part. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have two rulers over here, and now I can make some different designs and just keep it central. So again, on top here as well. Okay, so I just need to make sure that I just keep this thing here central. So for that, I will come right over here. And again, I'll take one and I'll just try to keep this thing here in the center. So this is the particular space where I will be working. So for that, I will just zoom in a little bit. And what I want to do is now I will just select this fish over here, and what I want to do is I just want to duplicate this layer. Okay, I just want to make a copy. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll just drag this down over here to this icon. So here you guys can see I do have two of this. This is just a backup that if I just mess up anything in that case, I will be able to use this thing up. So make sure that you just duplicate the layers kind of like this. So before working on with that, I will just make this thing a smart object. So from here, I will just convert this particular thing to a smart object. So now what I'm going to do is, as I'm over here right now, I will come right here in the image option. Okay, so from this one, I can actually work around with the tone and all. Okay, but here if I just come in this filter option, I can actually work with this neural filters. So here, as you guys can see, this one is loading the neural filters from here. I can actually work with this like smart portrait, creative, and all of this stuff. Okay, so I will just cancel this thing up. So just to show you that we can also get access to that. So I'll just come to the filters again. And from here, I will choose the so just you need to come here. Okay, again, if I just go to the filter, okay, instead I will take the neural filters over here. So these are a few of the presets, okay, as I was telling. So here I was showing you guys about the skin smoothing later, but I'll come here, and what I can do is if I want to select anything right here, okay, so I'll just click on that particular thing over here. Okay, and now this you guys can see this is just processing over here, and I can just select different things here as well. Okay, so here you guys can see this is just processing out here. So I will just wait, and once this is done, you guys can see I can just adjust the background. Okay, so here you guys can see I am trying to adjust the background blur kind of over here, and I can just select the style opacity down from here. Okay, so here you guys can see I can select the opacity, and I'll just click on OK from here. So here you guys can see. So all these layers which I do have here, I need to do all those things individually. So once I'm done, I will just get back to you guys. So here, as you guys can see, I have just worked this thing out over here. Okay, so again, what I'll do is I just want to show you guys a little thing which might be quite important. So as you guys can see, I do have this layer also as a smart object. So I was trying to show you that if I come here in the filter option, okay, so here I will go to the neural filters. Okay, so from here I will come down. Okay, so I will come down somewhere over here, and now I will just go to this one. And now as I have chose this particular thing right over here, what I can also do is I can choose it over here. So I'll just wait now. So here you guys can see this one kind of looks better comparing to this one. So in that case, what I can do is I can just decrease the opacity, okay, so of this So now it will kind of look the same as this one. Okay, so I will now click on OK from here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have clicked OK over here. Now what you can do again here is come around here and now right click and again convert it to smart object, and I want to convert this thing to smart object as well. So I don't want to do that because this layer is just a copy. So I'll come here. Okay, go to the filter again. Okay, go to the neural filters. Okay, so I will just go to the neural filters and I can actually add this thing out. So I'll just go to the style transfer, and from here what I can do is if I want to take this thing up, I can just take this one. So here also, as you guys can see this, okay, but what I'll do now is I will just decrease the detail quite over here. So here you guys can see I can just decrease the detail somewhat to 40, and now I can just decrease this thing quite right like this. Okay, 65 and 43. If I want to give any background blur, and also adjust the background blur from here as well. Okay, so again I will click on OK from here, and what I can do is I will just come here in this option, and from this option again go to filter, neural filters, and now again just put up the same as well. Okay, start cover and select this layer. Okay, and here you guys can see it's just processing here. So process, and I will just wait over here. And once this thing is done, I will just click on OK from here. And here you guys can see I do have this design ready. Okay, so now what I can also do is so now to these layers, if I want to add some blend, okay, so I can just double click here. Okay, if I just want to add any kind of strokes, in that case, I will be able to add some strokes over here. Okay, so maybe I will come here. Okay, I'll just deselect this one. And what I want to do is I just want to add a white color. So I will just select this path. And what I can do is here, as you guys can see, I am just trying to give this thing white color. So I'll just click on OK, and that's 18 around here. And again, I'll just come to my skull number 2. And for that also, what I'll do is I'll just double click here. Okay, so once I double click, it will just take me to the blending modes. Go to the strokes right around here. 18 is fine. I'll just click on OK. And now in this case, okay, so for this fish, what I'm going to do is as I want to highlight this thing up, okay, so for that what I'll do is I will just double click over here and I will go to the stroke. Okay, so in that case I will just change the stroke color. So for that I will again come here, and in this color option what I can do is I can just take black. Okay, and I'll just click on OK, and I will just decrease the black color quite like this. And to this one I will just click on OK. And if you want to blend this thing up, okay, so you guys can also blend or just use any dissolve over here. So again I will just do this thing to all of this here as well. To these flowers also I will just double click. Okay, so I will just double click, and what I can do is I will just go to strokes, and from strokes what you can do is you can just take a different color stroke over here. So as you guys can see, I'll just take this stroke over here, and the same way I will click on OK, and now come to the flower number 1. And to the flower number 1, you guys can just double click this thing out. Okay, so I will just double click, and I will just come here to the stroke, and what I'll do is I'll just click on OK. So now here this thing looks kind of more better now. So now here, as you guys can see, once I am done with these things, what I can do is I will just click on shift, and as I have selected this one, what I need to do is I need to select all this layer, and I can just click on Control G, and I'll just group this thing up. Okay, so as you guys can see, I have just grouped this thing up somewhere over here. What you can do is you can just click on OK, and now you guys can just decrease the size of this thing. Okay, so you guys can actually decrease the size of this thing, and I don't want to view. And what I want to do is I want to keep this area here in the middle. Okay, so as you guys can have all these options right around here. Okay, so now I will try to use some box. Okay, so now I will just click here. So now from here again, I will come and I will just decrease the size if I want to. Okay, so here as you guys can see, I will be able to decrease the size. And if I just go back, okay, so here as you guys can see, if I go back, then I'll be able to go back to the definition of how my layer was. Okay, and right here, what I need to do is I want to select my text. Okay, so for that, I just need to go to the text box right above here. And what I can do is I can just start typing my text. Okay, so for me, I will just type as Watery Valley. Okay, so I will just type Watery Valley. And now what I'll do is I will just bring this thing down. Okay, so I will just bring this thing quite above here. And if I just want to get this thing on the back, so for that I just need to select some things like this. And I just need to double click over here. Okay, so if I just want to add anything, if I want to change the colors, I can basically change the colors from here. Okay, so over here, now if I can just if I want to change what I have written over here, I can actually change this one. But this is the design that we were trying to make. And to this layer as well, if you want to add anything. Okay, so if you guys can basically come to the filter, and if you want to liquify, you guys can liquify this one here as well. Okay, so I will just click on OK. So you guys can see this is taking some time to liquefy this. So here you guys can see this one has liquefied over here. And now if you want to change anything, okay, so from here, if I just change this thing up, if I wanna see a preview of this whole thing, I can just see a preview of the whole thing. So I'll just cancel and I'll just go back over here. And now once I have this text over here, if I just want to work around with the strokes and all, okay, I can do that from here. Okay, so here you guys can see I do have a lot many options for this. So this is the font size, this is the lettering, and this is the kerning. Okay, so the spacing between both the letters, we guys will be able to do that thing from here as well. Okay, and now if you come to add and go to the blending options right here, you guys can come and just add this thing a stroke. Okay, so I will just come here and I'll just try to add a different stroke. So maybe I'll just take a red color, and what I can do is I'll just click OK over here. And if I wanna increase the size, okay, I can just increase the size of this. And now I will just click on OK. So this thing is now quite ready. So now what I can do is I can just select this whole thing out, and I can just actually put this thing. So here, as you guys can see, if I just put out the background, this is how it looks. So this is quite a stunning design for my t-shirt. And this is a rock t-shirt design, so you guys can also make your rock t-shirt design kind of like this using the smart objects. Okay, so maybe you guys might get confused, but keep on practicing on a regular basis, that you guys will be able to learn it in a different level. So hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.